The clock is ticking, Ed.
It is. I got no connection. Wait.
Nope.
Wait.
It's good.
It is live. Okay.
It is good. Just a Twitch.
It is
Restream.
actually live. Okay,
Restream
just
FTL.
Twitch. Restream suffered. Okay. All right. We're live. Rough start, but we're live. Okay, cool. I'm gonna shut this off so I'm not staring at us live. Oh, I'm so happy that's resolved for right now.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Restream. Why'd you screw me? You're not gonna be in my outro. Don't let me outro Restream, guys. I'm gonna outro Twitch.
Through the power of not
Just
Restream.
Twitch. Just Twitch. All right, friends, welcome back. I had a really good intro, and it got missed because we had some technical errors. Restream has not been working, as it is evident. We are streaming only to Twitch this evening because we want it to work, and I want it to record, and I want to have it. So here we are. We are back after a 2-week hiatus after having our live game in person Memorial Day weekend, or was it Labor Day weekend? One or the other. I always get the two mixed up. Yeah, we're back. We're back in our wonderful adventure through Chult, a wonderful jungle wasteland. And I said this last time, but I'm gonna say it again. Through a wonderful jungle wasteland of death and suffering that we all enjoy together as friends. So if you all are ready, we can step back into the world of Toril, to the land of Chult, and the city, the ancient lost city of Omu. So as our episode begins, our camera makes its way through the jungle foliage, past the blue mist, breaking the line, and we get basically a wonderful establishing shot. Basically, the first view you guys got of the massive, long basin city of Omu. Let me zoom out here and switch over to the tabletop so we get a good look at that. Our camera just breaks that area and just gives us the whole view that we initially got of the city below. As it does, it dives down towards the pit of lava and starts zooming its way through. And we see as the bubbles pop, they start to form the images of our past events, taking shape in the lava as our camera zooms its way through towards the waterfall in the distance. Let's actually get the intro music going, because this is just like regular music. Intro music, come to me. Here we go. Sit right. Yeah. Cool. And no, maybe I like the other one. The other one is my fave. Yeah, turn it the fuck down though. It's super loud. Okay, cool. As it zooms through, we see the bubbles burst and form the lava of a great beast, a massive undead T-Rex that our party did battle with on their way towards Omu. Coming across that huge mound of undead flesh as it animated, our party took to fighting the thing. A massive swing of its huge tail. We see War's shield batter up against it, barely blocking out of the way as Brolin takes the shape of a massive white snake, twisting around it, belching out more undead from its corpse-like mouth. And this horrible creature we see being felled by our party's efforts. Its body to the ground, a few undead scrambling from it, but as flames rip up around it, all of them burn in a horrible, horrible fire of undeath as our party shows their true strength. Our camera advances further forward, closer even so to the waterfall in the distance, the mist from that starting to form more shapes that show us another event from our last episode as our party fought off an undead horde chasing after them after the battle with the T-Rex, attracted to that noise. We watch as very much just sort of a bunker situation of our party sitting in a defensive position and just mortar strikes going off everywhere, just Each of those strikes just sort of symbolize or being formed from the bursting of the lava bubbles from below, as we see multiple undead cut down from them. One managing to escape, the leader, the one with the triangle head, the ghast, managing to stealth its way away from our party before they're able to finish him off. But surviving still, our party advanced further forward, and our camera does as well. As it curls its way up the waterfall, we see through the waves the shapes take form. We're kind of at a vertical area with our camera looking up right now, as we see our party come across the scene in the woods where the frost we're beginning to just get cold. This entire area just snowed out. As they reach the center, they can see the wizards, the red wizards who had been apparently slain in this moment, turned completely to ice, and 2 sets of tracks leaving the area, a sign of your friend Artis surviving this far, towards Omu, in fact. As our camera makes its way cresting up the top of the waterfall, it starts to run its way across the river, through the ancient buildings on either flank or either bank of the river. And we just sort of see through the reflections of the sun sparkling on the waterfall a few of those final scenes. Our camera probably tilts down as it's rushing across the rapids. We would see the scene of our party entering Omu for the first time, inspecting the gargoyles, investigating their activity, how they kill things that fly over the city proper, taking the stairs, investigating the entryway, saving Orvex from an astrologist who apparently teamed up with red wizards at one point, and was caught in some Yuan-Ti red wizard crossfire situation. You saved him from being crushed or eaten alive by wild dogs, and he had quite a bit to explain to you of the city proper. Tagging along willingly, quote unquote, willingly with red wizards, he was their guide through ancient Omnuan culture, one of very few who knows this knowledge, so probably a valuable asset to them at one point, but they're gone, it would seem, during the midst of the battle. This individual is able to tell you of the story of these animal symbols that you guys saw upon entry, that these are the 9 trickster gods of the Omnuans. A very, basically the main religious symbol of the city of Omu, where Ubtao is nowhere. They take his place in statues in everywhere that you can see. And that's kind of where we find ourselves as our camera dips closer and closer into the closer and closer to the rapids. The reflections become reality, and we see our party where they last left off. Let's throw up some jungle music. Let's just do. Let's do this. Yeah. Here we go.
Ooh.
It's starting to get a little later. You guys are coming to the end of the afternoon and more into evening. The sun has definitely passed its highest point in the sky. You find yourself in a ruin of an old inn, probably a place that visitors to the great capital of Chult, or once very long ago, a great capital of Chult, that visitors may have stayed at one point or another. You've sort of hunkered yourselves down here. There's still time left in the day. If you recall, you guys have at least 2 hours of time to work with if you so wish, or you can stay here for the remainder of your day and into your night. But we see you all sort of spread around this room. Orvex still sort of catching his breath from the whole situation. You've given him food, you've given him water, and he's explained quite a lot to you so far. But yeah, we come into the scene of all of you in this same sort of central commons chamber. Stone furniture still together, but there's plenty of holes in the walls in different places. It's not a very sturdy building. Most aren't. Definitely seems to have wear and tear. Vines and creepers are pretty much everywhere. Weeds. It's an overgrown area, abandoned. But yeah, Orvex is just sort of sitting at the table, probably just waiting to see what. Well, you're his party now, so he's more or less just waiting to see what you will do next and follow you in such things. Or any more questions? Last time we cut off, you guys were just talking to him and each other about the story that he told of the 9 trickster gods. So, intro over.
Fly, be free.
Fly, be free.
Brolin is going to put a level 1 healing word on Susan.
Oh, you turn over to your plant and cast healing word?
Yeah.
Alright, spend the slot.
I'm gonna spend. Oh, if this doesn't work, I'm gonna be so sad. It's
Unfortunately, your plant
It's
can't
not-
hear.
Okay, cool. It does nothing.
Aw.
You cast the spell, and it can't speak to you, but you just see it kind of like you cast the spell, and like it quivers a little bit, like you wait for something, and a leaf falls off. Just flakes to the floor. It definitely needs water, and as a druid, you know this to be true.
I give it some water.
From where?
My water skin.
Oh, from your water skin. You haven't drank that water today?
I have drank.
Then you have an empty water skin. Because if you didn't drink that water, I would ask for an exhaustion check. But there is a friend of yours who does probably have some water.
War, can I have some water, please?
What'd you say, War? Sorry, it was low.
What?
Do you have some extra water I can have? I forgot to water Susan.
I gave my water to Orvex.
All of it?
The water skin worth.
Fine. God, I don't want to cast another spell.
Don't?
Will we be staying here tonight?
I suppose so, yeah.
It would be good to get some rest. I find myself utterly exhausted from the events of today. Oh, the last couple of days, really.
So I feel like from now on, we should always sleep on that weird peninsula with a bridge to it. Like the island over the lava, then people can only come at us from one direction.
Or they can, fly.
Right.
Well, the
they,
gargoyles
though?
would protect us. At
Yeah,
that point.
would they fly?
They can certainly try.
I'd like to see them fly.
Alright.
I guess we should ask if there's anything that roams the streets at night, maybe? Should we be barricading this building before we go to sleep?
Zombies! Oh no! Not
We should
again.
probably not barricade the building in case there's sentient things that are wandering outside, because then they'll know which building we're in.
Yeah, that's true.
So, what self-imagined threat are we going to counter?
Well, I'm just gonna ask the dude who's been here for a
Self-imagined?
week.
I will.
Well, we don't know if anything's
We're just gonna
patrolling
bed
the
down
street.
in undead territory? Okay.
The Yuan Tea that we saw a pile of the dead ones.
Yeah,
that
not to
attacked
mention
the whole thing.
serpent assassins everywhere, and maybe
Yeah,
red
yeah.
wizard?
Hey, listen, alright? We can only defend against one, so what's it gonna be?
What?
Pretty sure the bubble defends against most.
I'm confused.
Well, if we barricade the building, that defends against the zombies, but it doesn't defend against intelligent threats, which will understand that there's something in because it's barricaded. So, if we don't barricade, we're defending against the intelligent people, but we're leaving ourselves open to roaming zombies. So you can only defend against the one.
Obviously,
Which
the
one?
only way to sleep is roped upside down from the ceiling.
Oh,
Or we
well,
could use-
I know an adventurer who's really good at that. So,
What?
Or
Don't worry
we could
about it.
just barricade inside where the intelligent things won't see it.
Are you guys forgetting I found a basement downstairs?
Where
We
do you
could
think
go
the
down-
zombies come from?
Oh yes, I love being trapped in a basement with no way out.
I will
That's
note.
my favorite.
I will note that the basement is a bit soggy, and it's not very expansive. It's like a wine cellar, and there is a level of water.
Oh, I get some water from the
Yeah, if you want to do that.
I go get some water.
Yeah, so Brolin leaves with his plant, like, ooh, ooh, like he's like trying to make
Wait.
sure it's okay.
Don't worry, Susan. I'll save you.
It's a fairly big building, so I mean, he's gonna be like, yeah, it's like 80 feet away kind of situation. Like, it's a fairly large building, but yeah, you can find the stairs that you discovered before. I will also note, just so you guys understand your environment, barricading this building, though optional, is a intensive task. There are multiple openings, though this place may have at one point had maybe 2 or 3 natural openings. The walls have pierced to reveal several others, both above and below. With the full scan that you did, there's probably at least half a dozen entrances that somebody could get into to find your way into this building. It was very similar to the building that you investigated before. Damage to these ancient structures is inevitable depending upon which ones you come across, but the wear and tear of jungle has definitely taken its toll.
So, Orvex,
Yes.
is there anything that roams at night? You've camped here before. Is there anything we should be wary of before we bed down?
Yes, there's a few things to be wary of. You want tea, imagine. I mean, I got in the predicament that I am in because of such creatures. They patrol the city more than anything else. I mean, they claim it belongs to their rotten sea, and they will defend it. And they have proven that with my previous companions, and they are willing to kill, so very dangerous indeed. Let me tell you, there was a moment where diplomacy we thought was going to be a possibility. Victor put his best foot forward in that regard, but it would seem they are non-negotiable. Other than that, well, there are a number of creatures we encountered. Grung, frog-like people. You remember the story I told you. Vegapygmy tribes as well. I mean, you'll find them in most parts of the jungle. The infested areas. Let me think. What else? Well,
Undead we should be worried about?
oh, well, I mean, they are persistent in most everywhere, this part of Chult. We have not encountered any of yet. Rarer, I imagine, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them, but I imagine the Yuan-Ti would do their best to keep such creatures out of their purview. So, there is that. Oh, yes, one more very important creature. A beast, large, what are they called? I'm not really, it's not my area of expertise.
Dragons?
No, without the wings.
Worms?
The creatures of Chult are quite rare in other places of the world. A reptile, large.
Komodo
Oh!
dragons.
You mean raptors?
Yes,
Allosaurus?
but bigger.
A T-Rex?
I think that's what they call them. Yes. I believe there is a very large creature who finds its domain in the northern parts of the city. We avoided it for the most part. It was not something the wizards wished to engage in, so we did our best to avoid that. But it would seem with Omu you avoid one troublesome thing and it just leads you into another. It's a very dangerous place.
Any advice on sleeping here?
I don't know if I could really give any advice. It looks the same as what we rested in the night before the attack, but I imagined.
That's really, really encouraging.
I don't know if there's really a better place. The sun is still out, I could search, but every ruin we came across, which was probably no more than a dozen in our time investigating, was of the same quality. This city is old, it's not well put together. Imagine, unless you find a cave or something of the sort, this well defended, and these are not.
Okay.
What time of day is it?
It is just past what you would probably consider a dinner time. The sun is 3/4 of its way across the sky.
So you
So if
said
we
we only
want, we
have
can
like
explore
2
a bit
hours.
You have 2 hours of work time left. You guys can always push that time further, but for every hour past 8, you make a Constitution save that gets more difficult with each following hour you push it. So you can push but that's if you're doing anything. Like if you are traveling amongst the city, if you are searching through anything, that is time spent that you are awake, engaged in something. So you would be pushing it further.
Weren't we told that this whole here is one building of 5-year search surveys?
This is a singular. No, let me get my arrow out. So yeah, you can always ask me what I consider the buildings. But this is a single building, but this is also a single building. So you got 2 here.
Yeah, so as long as they're touching.
As long as they're touching, I will consider them the same structure. Though I'm sure more hardcore DMs out there would be like, no, each roof is its own building. Not gonna do that.
This one's a building, and this one's a building, and this one's a building.
Good God, I don't want to get the X's that small. Like I don't want that.
So we have a couple options. Go deal with Frog Boy.
Yes,
can-
Orvex did inform you of why the Red Wizards were staying in this compound. They had discovered what they believed to be one of the 9 shrines to the trickster gods of Omu, holding a piece of the puzzle to open the gate to whatever lies beyond the northern parts of the city.
We could also go to one of the 2 shrines on the other side of the. I'm assuming this is one.
We don't know that.
What about the sacrifice pit?
The sacrifice pit was also something you guys saw. Vegapygmy below in the midst of a sacrificial ritual.
That is within 2 hours.
With a groan.
could-
It is actually
set up
within.
here.
So every 200 feet takes you 5 minutes, no matter where you go, no matter what speed you do. To simplify things, that's kind of the rules they made. So getting to a place doesn't take too long. Let me just. Doop.
It's like 15 minutes away.
Yeah. Yeah,
That leaves,
it's like
hour
less
45.
less than 15 minutes away. I will trust you guys to help me with time spent.
Oof.
I will try my best to keep it, but if we have
Our
to
goal
guess,
is to
sometimes
make it
it's fine.
through 5 days here, because I know that's how many days Ed did random encounters for.
Oh no, I did 10. I did 10. I got through 10.
So we sleep for 10 days?
10 days.
Wherever you
just all
wherever you
random
sleep is a
encounters.
very active place for
Yeah.
whatever reason. Lots of things are happening to you. Dang.
Just farm XP by sleeping
So,
in the same place.
I mean, you are in Omu. It is a trafficked area, so you know that even if you were to stand still, your presence would eventually be noticed. Probably sooner rather than later.
So we got a couple options.
Oh yeah, you do.
We know that Artis has already been here and searching for stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He left his sign on the wall regarding you, Valfie, saying that he had gone in search of the 9 shrines.
So, I mean, I feel like we should maybe find him or find the shrines where he's been. See if we don't double up on work, or maybe if we find him, we'll get lucky and
Yeah.
maybe not have to backtrack all over the place.
Unless we want to go kill that frog guardian.
Yeah,
Huh?
Orvex did inform you that they attempted to get close to the shrine and were attacked by a great frog creature with massive tentacles, and then they
The
disengaged.
the story for that one said something about
Having to kill
was
it, I agree.
no Ubtao wrestling it.
Yeah, the story of the
And
frog
then-
myth. When evening
yeah.
came, a wily Eblis stepped from his reed hut. He didn't like the Omnuans, but without them, he'd have no one to play his tricks on. The Eblis is the bird-like creature.
Yep,
The
yep.
Eblis sent a marsh frog to reason with Ubtao, but the frog was angry and decided to wrestle the god instead. This amused Ubtao, so he gave the frog tentacles to make it stronger. When Kubazan, the frog hemoth, returned to Papazotl, the Elbis, he chased Papazotl into the swamp with his new tentacles.
Yeah.
So somebody lead it on a chase while the rest of us go and search the shrine.
Alright, Brolin, you're up.
Okay.
Wrestling.
Brolin and War can wrestle it while we plunder the ruin.
Is Brolin back from watering Susan?
Yeah. You probably step in this moment. You've got Susan. She's got some water.
All right, I'm back.
All right. So what's our plan?
Something about a frog with tentacles. I don't think that's a frog though.
It's a frog hemoth. Name, well, probably not Kubazan himself.
I
But
mean, we
maybe.
have currently dwindling daylight as we speak.
Ye-
If we were to get caught out down there past a certain
So
time.
I vote we search this building and then look at what this building is.
And then come back and sleep.
Yeah, unless this building's safe, and then we'll sleep there.
Not these ones?
Not the ones nearest.
Yeah, you
We
could
search
do
those ones too.
the nearest one. Absolutely.
How much time is it to search a building? You said an hour?
30 minutes.
Third. Oh, so we could get like 2 buildings in,
Yeah.
saving time for travel.
You could get these. So a lot of times, and it's going to be dictated by me, just so that we're not doing crazy math. So you can always just ask me with travel stuff. Like I know that only when you're traveling long distances am I really going to get. If you are traveling to a point, if you're like I want to go to this area, I will time your actual like travel there. But if you're like going here to here, I'm not going to be like, all right, what's the distance between this building and this building? 40 divided by. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to be like,
I
cool.
didn't know how hard the DM was going to metagame. So.
No, I'm like, you want to get these buildings? It's 2 hours to get these buildings. I'm fine with that.
That's 5 minutes too long, Sonny.
I don't have the math.
exhaustion for you.
Yeah,
And exhaustion
I'd-
for you.
And you?
that
Yeah.
seems fair.
If it's your
To these-
closest buildings, that's fine. But if you guys were like, I want to go over here and search these buildings, I'd be like, okay, we're timing that distance. But if it's
So
like
do we
right
wanna-
next to you,
So do we want to hit like the 3 nearest and then double back?
yeah,
That
you could at
that
least
gives us an hour and a half.
Hour and a
with,
half.
Like 15, 20 minutes of travel.
And we can always judge when we get to this building and say, oh,
we're stopping,
this
yeah.
building seems safe. Or, oh, this building seems unsafe.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's fair. I like it.
Absolutely.
Because I would personally feel safer not being in one of the buildings on the entrance to Omu.
Why not, Alex? You want to lay down in the rest stop and the exit of the thing with
Take
the
a nap?
bathrooms?
Where literally everyone was is no longer there.
So what's the plan? And traveling and
To the next building!
all right. I'm behind you, but please, not too fast. I'm very tired. Unless
Yeah,
one of you
well-
wish to carry me.
Here, Orvex, I have a job for you.
Oh, please, nothing too physical.
Nothing. Just hold this plant for me.
Sure. And he takes the plant and just kind of hefts it.
Be very careful with her. She's very delicate.
It's a little bit heavy, but I think I'll manage.
Good. Make sure to breathe on it a lot. Yeah, she's
Oh
gonna.
my god.
Yeah, she's gonna like that.
He like looks to the rest of you, just like, I imagine this is some sort of albino dwarf culture that I'm missing.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
All right.
No, it's
Don't
Frida
think-
is
don't
behind
think
Roland,
about it.
shaking her head.
They-
That is not about dwarf.
They live underground, so they worship plants because they don't see them very
Oh,
often.
it's just, I'm very open-minded. He just blows on the plant.
Meanwhile, Susan. Yes.
If only we could hear her. She doesn't have a voice without your spell.
Oh boy.
She's not sentient. So you guys.
Temporarily sentient at times, which is far creepier.
That is
Oh
very
my
creepy.
god. So you guys are advancing then to this next
We're gonna
building.
hit straight north, right?
Beep.
Went across the
Yeah.
road, yeah.
Right over here. Very, very cool. Let me get a roll out for that guy.
What guy?
What guy? This guy. Okay. You want these in the open, guys, or I was doing them in the open in the live game, or do you want them hidden?
It's up to you.
Okay. Hidden.
Depends on your
Secret.
atmosphere. Ooh, secrets.
Okay, as you guys enter into this building, you seem to have found your way. And by the way, I'm going to run out of improv on these buildings depending on how you guys go in a day. So if it starts to dry up, I'm sorry.
Tell me about the door frame, Ed.
No, well, the door frame is of Chult make. It's stone, and you can see the symbols of the 9 gods all the way around it, as very similar
What
to
about
most
the
doorways.
stone floor?
The stone floor consists of, well, probably a lot of vines, for sure, sort of wrapping their way around the cobble. But the stone is probably at one point was well cut, but it's quite damaged now.
How how healthy are the vines?
The vines look quite healthy, quite vibrant, and definitely seems as though they've grown over it again and again with a family of vines that have definitely been here for quite some time.
And what's the dust cover of the room looking like?
The dust cover of the room, I would actually say, make a perception check for me.
How damp is it in here?
There is some dampness to a certain portion of the room. And I'll describe what this probably was at one point, but let me get a perception check from Alexandria.
How
Are
about the
any of
fine art
vines
on the
related
walls?
to Susan?
There is none. What'd you say?
Are any of the vines related to Susan?
Make a nature check.
Fungus vines.
The dust definitely seems to have settled here, as in the building you went to before. Nothing of extreme interest. Interesting thing to note: Susan is, from all you know, is not a 3. Frisha, can I go crazy on this for a sec? I'm gonna go a little crazy. You're pretty sure Susan's a fake plant.
Oh my god!
It's like the vibrancy difference is so vast. You're like, Susan can't be real.
Oh no!
But Alexandria, yeah, the dust on the floor seems undisturbed, caked well enough to show that time has passed quite some time before anyone's been in here. And your footprints probably the first. As you do step into this building, you can see many pots, a lot of pottery, a lot of vessels to hold multiple liquids, but they've all dried out at this point. And you're pretty sure you've probably stepped into, as you can see, there's also a lot of dried, crusted, completely damaged, unusable fabrics that have kind of almost degraded to time, but pieces of them sort of survive, almost like ashen ghosts of themselves, like if you were to grab one and just crumble, effectively. It's just so old.
My gaming career has taught me, well, we should smash those pots because they have rupees in them.
You believe that, so it's probably at one point a tanner's like shop of sorts.
Okay, so I had like those were vials or vases full of like tanning fluid.
Probably tanning fluid, yeah. The consistency of what looked to be what you maybe thought was cloth, but probably leathers at one point, have definitely they degraded to a point. You imagine if it was cloth, it would be gone by now. So these have still held up, but they look quite fragile, quite old, just been rotting here on the shelf.
Any furniture we can search through or anything?
Yeah, there's plenty of furniture around. A lot of it is more. It's not so much standing. Like you can tell where there was probably some wooden furniture at one point or another, but it's degraded to the point where it's more pieces on the floor, identifiable only by a shard here and there, or like not so much fragment, but like pieces. There are a few stone stools that seem to have persisted through time, but look as worn as everything else. There is one large sort of stone slab table that probably at one point held many different tools, but they've all degraded into what looks like just a pile of wooden and metal pieces that are just all over this this dusty long table. There is a opening in the ceiling that leads to a second floor. Upon you guys stepping in, the sun sort of leaking into this this building. It seems utterly abandoned at the moment.
I check for traps.
Make a perception check. Looking around, it doesn't look as though anyone's been here to set traps, let alone any traps being here. Though looking around for traps that may have been set by ancient Omnuans, whether or not those would have stood the test of time, you believe this was probably not a place that those would have been put. So it seems that it's probably just a shop, and doesn't seem to hold any kind of dangerous thing waiting for you.
Never be too careful. Looks okay in here.
Anybody else have anything they want to interact with before I reveal what this building does?
Oh my
I'll
god.
reveal what I've rolled on the
building
building.
is-
Arrow slits in the wall.
Before I reveal what the building, right now, to me, you guys are all still in this room. I just want to know what you're interacting with. You're doing a full-scale search, how you guys are going about it.
Oh yeah, no, searching the building for sure.
Yeah, just moving through the different rooms and chambers, upstairs, downstairs.
Checking for containers, skeletons.
Is anyone
corpses.
not doing that?
I'm going to watch.
Okay. Alexandria leans up against a wall or something, I imagine, of the sort.
I'm not going
that's
to.
where the arrow slot is.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to
Leans on a
stand.
switch.
All right, you're going to stand. Perfect.
I'm gonna
Right on
stand.
top
I'm
of
trapped.
my pressure plate. Thank you.
Well, I'm already on it. So I'm already that screwed. But I'm not putting my back onto a wall and then turning wall trapped into a death room.
Dang it! I'm gonna get one of you guys at the wall eventually.
Yeah,
Every
like,
time
yeah, you're not going anywhere. That's fine. You lean against
you
the
lean
wall.
against a wall. No,
It's like,
no
it's like
walls.
Scooby-Doo. If the stone slab turns around.
I stand in the center of the
Waiting
room,
for-
avoiding
What's this,
walls.
Scooby-Doo?
So the one I'm waiting for is you lean against the wall. That wall isn't very secure. It falls over. Building with it.
And the building with it, you've killed all your friends.
This was a pole barn. It died. Yeah.
So, you guys do a full scan of the building, avoiding weak spots in the floor, making your way through room to room, only to discover more chambers that give more and more evidence that this is at one point a workshop, and maybe a home upstairs as well. A thorough search over 30 minutes reveals nothing of danger or extreme interest.
All right. Looks clear.
Next.
Mark it off and move.
Could often move indeed.
Like a well-oiled machine.
All right. Oh, I'm trying to move using my keys. Okay. Let me give this a roll. Okay. So as you enter into this building, This one quite larger than the other one before it. You come into a chamber that looks a little more grand in the way that it was built, though it hasn't held up well, just like any of the other buildings. You can still tell that this one was built with a little more thought to the architecture, not hardy like the building that was in there before. You step into a chamber that probably once you can tell just in some places where cloth may have been draped, just by the way dust has collected in certain areas, but as you enter in, you probably all enter into a very sort of large archway, one that would invite a large amount of traffic into the building. It's not singular. It would definitely allow for like crowds to move in and out as they will. And you enter very much what looks to be like sort of a circular commons with a very large dome overhead that probably once held beautiful glass panes, but at this point those have all blown out. There are shards of glass sort of around the floor that you can see here and there, but a lot of moss has grown over them at this point. And you make your way into a chamber, and you can see that there are different symbols on the walls of the exits to this room that lead to the sort of spider snake their way out to the rest of the building. The symbols definitely look as though they represent different things. Like you see one that definitely looks like a basket of fruit, one that looks like a hammer and like probably a hammer, not quite a hammer and sickle. We're not going full communist here, but it's whatever. Yeah, probably like a hammer, like tools of sorts.
Hammer and anvil.
Yeah, like hammer and anvil kind of situation. You'd probably see one that looks as though it represents some sort of clothing. And yeah, this is sort of the chamber you walk into. It's very like that sort of opening area to Jurassic Park museum when you step in, and there's just sort of that huge open thing, like stairways sort of arch up. But it definitely seems to be a grand public building of some sort.
There's no standing T-Rex skeleton or anything in front of it?
No, there isn't, but obviously, as with every single building before you, though this one more prominent than the workshop before, the figures of the 9 gods, pretty much wherever you look. Statues, carvings in the wall, the architecture just reflects it wherever it can.
Gotcha.
There's no skeleton of a T-Rex yet. It's just that living T-Rex over there roaring at us.
Not yet.
Alright, check for traps.
Make a perception.
Not letting you go with this.
Make a perception check. Just in this room? Or just is this going to be part of your general scan of the building?
General scan.
General scan of the building. So as you guys investigate, are you investigating together in buildings, or are you separating to cover more ground?
I'm not separating from the rogue.
Okay. So you all stay together. You can still get the half hour. I'm just curious what you guys are doing. If you're staying as a group, or if you kind of go to separate rooms.
I'll stick
up at least in pairs.
Okay.
I'll stick with Valfie.
Yeah, never too much of a distance away. I'll always assume you're within 30 feet of each other if you guys wish.
Do I get nobody? Am I all by myself?
Or would go
You've
with
got
you.
Susan.
Oh, thank you, War. No, Susan's with our new friend.
Yeah, Orvex is ever present, probably following War all the time because he's so big. Probably following the biggest of you around, wanting not to be in any trouble.
Feel so safe.
I mean, he's the biggest guy with a big old axe. A giant turtle with an
axe and a shield.
Definitely would. I mean,
Man.
he hasn't seen any of your skills thus far, but he sees a big axe and a huge turtle and thinks that will keep me alive. I need that.
He's definitely the most capable looking at a passing glance, that's for sure.
For sure.
The rest of us look like we could get broken by a strong wind.
Hey, I'm pretty tough. You see these muscles?
You heard me.
Eh.
He flexes as the wind blows over top of his head.
As you guys start investigating the different chambers of this room, each one definitely built to be a public space. Any of you give me a straight intelligence check. Whoever wants to try to know a little bit more about this building, or sort of quizzically ask themselves what kind of place this might be in, can make an intelligence check if they want to.
Hey, wizard, it's you.
If you want
is
to.
it me?
Only if your character is interested in where you are.
We need to let Let the DM tell us that this is a marketplace.
Yes,
Well,
I'm more than willing to let the DM tell me what things. But if I have to work for it, I guess I'll make a roll.
It's completely up to if it matters to Alexandria.
She'll give it a passing glance. Why not? See,
It's
Pat,
not
she
working.
she was not
Passing glance.
interested.
Those-
I tried to feign interest and it shows.
I don't even think you mentioned anything. You just assume probably what most people assume here, that it's a market, like just like Alex said, or imagine Frisha would think. Just the different symbols on the walls. All right. It's a market then. So as you all make your way upstairs, separating only briefly and not very far apart to maybe investigate separate rooms at a time, we get a moment where our party makes their way out of a chamber and does basically like a check, like find anything, no, find anything, no. And you turn your way further down the hallway. You're on the second floor, and as you turn, you see two creatures in the middle way of the hallway. I'll give you a picture of what they look like.
Who sees this? Is it like the whole group or?
The whole group, yeah. Well, it would probably be whoever's first turning the way. So I imagine probably Orvex and War who are taking the front, unless you can correct me.
I mean, Brolin's with War from. I'd be.
I mean, if it's not clearly a Chowinga, I'm probably gonna shoot at.
I will say if whoever's in front, if it's War and Brolin, would see it first. But if you wanted to have been in front, did you? It's fine. It doesn't matter. If you immediately shoot,
fire!
you let me know if you immediately shoot.
I said I cast Fireball.
Did I?
Fire.
Yeah.
Fire.
You see two figures. They're on either side of the wall of the hallway, which seems to be pretty wide, but they're on either side, fairly close to one another, and you recognize them as creatures you've interacted with before.
Oh no!
You see these two. They have their the slimy Brolin Jr. is not with them. You don't see one of those. You just see two veggie pygmies. Their spears sort of laid up against the side of the wall, and they have their hands out towards the vines and. You can see the vines on their body seeming to sort of curl their way out off their arms and onto the vines of the wall. They both seem to have their eyes closed at the moment, and you can hear a sort of like murmuring coming from within them, just like a.
Oh wait.
What are they doing?
I don't know. The veggie pygmies. Listen, I made friends with.
They are standing.
I can talk to them.
They're snoring, standing up.
Yeah, they're sleeping or something.
Yeah, they got their arms up, and they're like, yeah, just right.
Were they there when we came in?
No. These are upstairs. This is you investigating. You found them.
Oh boy. Did we end up like walking right past them without anything happening?
No.
Or
You
did they
just
kinda
came. You
before we
just. So you are in the upper levels. You've just gotten to the upper levels, and you're investigating those areas. And you've turned a hallway on the upper level, deeper into that level, and you've found them. They've apparently been upstairs, or maybe there's another entrance to this building, which I'm absolutely can tell you there is.
Man.
No.
I'll try talking to him.
Yeah, I could give it a shot.
I'm going to put my hood up and crouch down with my bow ready.
Alright, I'm gonna cast my 3rd level spell, which is Speak to Plants, because apparently you need a supreme magic casting to be able to do this.
Alright, spend the spell slot. Spending the spell slot to speak with plants. You immediately hear from Orvex, "Thank you for breathing on me." That's the first thing that you hear.
You doing alright, Susan?
So good.
I smack Brolin on the top of the head and focus.
Right.
Focus, not ficus.
Focus, not fight.
Make a stealth check, Brolin and Alexandria.
God damn it, Brolin.
Oh no, what have you done?
You
What have you
hit.
done?
You did this.
Oh shit! No!
I'm rolling so good tonight. That's 2 ones in a row.
You're being too loud, Alexandria.
Yeah, you see one's eyes
Shut
begin
up,
to
you dumb
flicker,
dwarf.
and they very much have like the eyes of like the reptile, where it's like there's a layer of the eyelid that you can see like that's already on there, and the eyelid kind of closes over it as they begin to flicker, and one kind of like wavers a little bit from the wall, but luckily enough, they don't seem after that one moment where one seemed to almost wake up. It goes back to its.
Oh,
So
boy.
they are sleeping.
You're not sure? You want to make a? Do you want to make a check on that?
No, Kyle's feeling really good about this. But you're right. Alexandria doesn't know.
Okay.
Right.
Nice.
So,
They are the vines.
All right, let me deal with this.
you're gonna talk to your fucking friends? You're gonna keep talking to the goddamn plant?
I go. I walk up to the. I walk up to him and say, "Hello."
Yeah, you walk up immediately, and you just say, "So what do you like? Are you just like right next to him, or how close do you get?"
Well, I remember how cordial the one I talked to was, so I will go take a distance away from him and say, "Greetings," and he'll go.
Yeah, immediately upon you saying greetings, they both sort of rip their hands off of the wall. The vines around their hands snap, and they immediately curl back. And you guys who don't speak plant immediately hear what sounds like a hissing sound from both of them as they curl back and both take what looks like a very defensive position to Brolin. Both like it's very much animalistic as they curl back. Their eyes flickered open, this sort of bright dark opals in their heads, and as they curl back, you can just hear and see the plants on either side just sort of quiver, and it makes this horrible hissing sound that doesn't sound good for those outside of it. Brolin, you hear back, stay back, and they immediately both grab at their spears, and they look afraid of you.
Oh, I go. It's okay. I come in peace. It's okay. I don't mean you no harm.
Make a charisma persuasion check with disadvantage.
No.
They are immediately backing away from you. They've got almost like immediate 5 feet.
Can I use my inspiration to just give a normal roll?
If you want to spend your inspiration for the game and put it on the table, yes, you can. You gotta pull your token off and slap it on the table.
It's not worth it, Brolin. Kill them.
Okay.
Destroy.
You may do a normal roll. Okay.
God damn it.
Yeah, the one immediately, the other one immediately speaks up as the one just sort of looking at you, just not knowing what to do, and it speaks up, says, "Lies, lies, they work for us and see, for the snakes."
No. I hate snakes. I beat up snakes.
And the one turns and just says, "We should go, brother. We should go before they kill us." And it shakes its head and back away. Back.
Can I
You will let us go.
I sit on a knee. I take a knee. And I go, "It's okay. You can go. I just wanted to say hello."
Yeah, as
we
you
don't mean.
go ahead, keep going.
I said, "I don't mean you any harm. I don't work for Rosency. I'm here to kill him."
They look at each other for a moment, and one just spits out, "Not trust!" And they turn and start running down the hallway.
No.
Do you attack?
What is the
I mean, I don't have anything ready. We didn't discuss
Oh, okay.
that.
I mean, they're running right now. Anybody would have a chance if they wanted to.
I mean, they're
No,
not
I don't
attacking
think
us.
so.
Okay.
They
They have the normal reaction to Brolin. That's normal.
We cannot fault them this. They are
No,
only
you
living
can't.
creatures.
They scamper away down the hall, running in So the one thing you definitely, being this close, like, it's very much an animal afraid. They did not want to fight you. They did not want to be near you. They cowered away from you. Didn't want a chance even interacting with you. Very. A lot more primal than the one you met before, and you will recall that the Vegapygmy tribe you met before was much closer to Port Nyanzaru, possibly more used to interactions with travelers. These at the very least seem a little more hesitant to trust anyone they come across. You hear them run down the hallway. Their feet, their veggie feet, pattering across the stone and vines before you don't anymore. And for those who didn't understand the conversation, it didn't go well. Just from what you're looking at, they immediately just fucking ran.
Normal Brolin there.
Brolin puts his. I tried. I'm sorry, guy. I did learn one thing. They don't like this. They don't like Rosin Sea, or the snakes.
Well, that's good at least.
Yeah.
It's okay, Brolin. You'll have friends someday.
Brolin, make a perception check for me. Okay, you notice that the vines that the vines that sort of curled off of their arms and were sort of entwined around the vines in the walls, they ripped those away in fear, just immediately wanting to get away from it. They I would say that, yeah, those, you see that those are still left over, and you can see that they're still moving a little bit as they curl around the vines. So you can see on either side there are some, like, the strands left from them sort of ripping away these tiny vines curling around the bigger.
Can I speak to them?
What would you say?
Are you gonna try to run away from me too?
You hear, feed, 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 feed.
Oh.
Is that them or Susan?
He's talking to the writhing vine.
Okay.
Yeah, a much simpler intelligence.
All right, never
that's
mind.
not what
Don't
they
touch
were
that.
doing.
Don't touch those plants.
Can you ask the plants what the other things were doing?
You would probably hear feed and pain. That would be it.
They're just saying feed, pain. Mostly in that order.
Those two, and not the other ones.
Did you ask them?
I mean,
War was asking. I talked over him. War was asking if you talked to the other plants.
Like the vines, you could ask what the veggie pygmies were doing.
oh no, those were the vines I just talked to. They just said feed.
So there's two separate vines here. There's the vines from the Vegapygmies, and there's the actual vines on the wall. I think War is referencing the vines on the wall.
Oh, I'll speak to the vines. Hey,
You got the spell.
how's it going?
Use it.
Hello.
It's me.
From the
how's
other
it
side.
going?
What'd you say?
How's it going?
It goes.
What were those two Vegapygmies doing over there?
They feed.
No. All right. Can you put a good word in for me? I'm trying to be their friend.
No. We don't speak.
Oh, that's true. You are a vine. And Brolin is just like, you don't even know what Brolin's doing. He's like,
You guys ever been happy your character doesn't understand a conversation?
Brolin's
We're all over here raising our eyebrows.
Roland's been down this hallway just going like, I imagine with the plant language you have to kind of like make the noise too, so you've probably got like two leaves in your hand and you're just like, just like dancing around, just like
What is he doing?
Well, Brolin went crazy. Should we just leave him here, or
Like,
I come back. Yeah, I got nothing. That stupid vine over there was useless. I don't care if he hears me.
Rude.
Fuck you.
You're lucky I don't pull you off the damn the damn ceiling.
Do it, bitch.
You won't.
must be one of those rude vines.
It's a rude vine. Don't worry about it. But he's a jacket. Don't talk to him. Anyway, no,
Okay.
I failed here, guys. I'm sorry.
Can we keep going now?
Well, we didn't end up fighting them, so
that's a positive.
Yeah, that is a positive.
It is. So, as your party continues their way through this this vast market building, the half hour expires. You've thoroughly combed the area to the best of your ability and found nothing of interest outside of the interlopers that are here. Much is to be expected of many chambers in Omo, as it is an abandoned city that has seen much foot traffic from the Yuan-Ti. So you imagine that places that may have been previously pilfered in many years past could be a common occurrence. But yes, you complete this building, a thorough search, and can officially mark it off your list. That leaves you with an hour left in your day. What will you all do with this time that has given you?
Okay.
When he says it like that, I get nervous.
Yeah. So do we want to hit that building before we go back to
Sure, why not? It has a nice
camp?
little courtyard.
It does.
courtyard could
And a
be a
hole
good
in the
place
roof.
to stay.
It could be.
Could be.
It looks walled in.
Absolutely could.
Too bad it's filled with snakes.
Oh no. I hate snakes. I hate snakes. Stop it.
Ooh, okay. Just gonna grab a thing really quick. Okay, cool. All right. So, you guys make your way into this next building, which seems from the outside to be a very fanciful home, or was at one point probably maybe a manor of some sort. Some individual that got prime real estate at the front of the city. Maybe somebody of prominence, a house of a noble indeed. You see, eerily enough, some similar architecture to that of a prince's villa, but you can definitely tell where probably ancient Chultan architecture has sort of laid its way down and has made its way into current Chultan architecture. But this is, it's like alien almost. It's strange. It's older. It's not as clever or unique as the current culture of, like, say, Port Nyanzaru, but it holds
That's because
many
the
of those
Omnians
traits.
Did that?
Yeah. Omnuans or Omnians, you can call them whatever. Tomato. But you enter into a fairly grand entrance to this building, a set of steps, some columns that probably represented 9 columns, in fact, at the large porch that represented the different gods. Some of them still intact. The one most intact would probably be the Unik, the flail snail. The rest seem to have taken a form of damage and probably an arm. Some almost crumbled to the ground unrecognizable. recognizable, but if anyone were to spend enough time, you could probably tell which statue was which god at what point. Vines obviously curl their way up the sides of this building, probably a little bit more on one side. You imagine that at one point it may have actually been built that way to have like a vine garden kind of thing growing up the side of the building, but that has gone vast and wild and completely taken over one side of the mansion. Upon entering inside, you get a pretty like I said, very similar to a prince's villa in layout, but some differences, some changes, and just in just the way it is. Some areas are a little bit broader and wider, maybe a little bit more square in design. They didn't quite make things as curvy as the current Chultan architecture.
Check for traps.
Yes, go for it. Take a roll.
The flail snail is a trap.
All right, 15 is your scan for this building.
Watch out for them flails.
And those snails.
So, as
No,
you,
wait, they're the same.
No.
as you guys begin to SEAL Team 6 this place, SEAL Team 9, this building, going through chamber upon chamber, you find more evidence that it was probably once a lived-in place. Some furniture that's quite degraded here and there. What probably was once a bath house. Probably what was once a kitchen. Maybe a den. Very large chambers probably were quite lived in. Second floor, balcony, probably a basement that held some sort of winery as well. As you make your way through the floors, one note persists in this building. There is a level of vegetation that seems to have really made its way in here. You come into probably one chamber that was probably once an indoor or probably an outdoor garden, this courtyard in the back, and it opens up into just what seems completely consumed by vegetation. Like, it would be almost impossible to walk through this chamber without having to cut some of it away. But you see what looks like a garden that has gone unmaintained for a very, very long time. But among the foliage is quite a bit of beauty. A berry. They're dark brown, but they shine almost like the very rare delicacy chocolate is almost like what they look like. And you see these berries, and they cluster in certain pockets here and there, but they seem persistent throughout these vines as the garden itself seems to grow almost up and out of this area and into the floor above. You saw a few of these berries back before as well. They seem unique to this building.
So I nudge Brolin and say, "Eat the berry."
I'm not eating the berry. That could be poisonous. I am actually going to do a nature check to check if those berries are, in fact, poisonous.
Yeah, go ahead and make a nature check.
Oh my god.
We're bad at nature.
So
What are we doing tonight?
We shouldn't fight.
You're not sure. You're not sure. Actually, this might intrigue you, Brolin. You have spent most of your life in northern Chult. This seems to maybe be a plant that was native to southern Chult, maybe native to your people at one point or another. But your knowledge is very limited. You know it is a berry. Whether or not it is consumable, you're not sure. You know little. It does have a very alluring shine to it, a glaze, if anything. And
I wouldn't eat it.
If it's native to southern Chult, could I make a nature check out
You
of it
could.
as well?
You could.
Because I'm also proficient there.
You
so-
could.
Do it, war.
Well, not much better.
Not much better, but I can give
Better
you a
than
little more
average.
information.
Which one of you is the druid again?
He's just he's just rolling low. It's okay. So the you wouldn't know the name of this berry, but and it's definitely having to call back to very early memories. War.
Right.
You recall seeing it before. And you also recall that, and probably a memory from your childhood because you didn't like the feeling. these things are glazed in a sap. And if you grab on them, it's very sticky, and that stickiness persists. You remember trying to wash it out of your hands in a river, and your mother doting on you, probably doting on, teasing you mostly for grasping them in that way.
These things are sticky.
Yeah? They safe to eat?
I have no clue. They're just way too sticky.
I would say these wouldn't be. I don't know if berries would have been ever in your diet. Your mother and you fished mostly, so eating them wasn't even really a thing.
Right.
Turns out they use them for glue or something. Somebody tries to eat it.
They're so sticky that they literally get stuck in a throat and you choke to death.
Upon further inspection, you could see the glaze, the layer around them, and it just sort of drips every once in a while off the end. And then you can see below each of these plants, there does seem to be sort of like a pool of this sort of sticky sap.
Don't touch them.
Yeah, don't worry, I don't plan to.
Sounds good to me.
All right.
Well, with the spells that you guys have, probably wouldn't be too much of an issue.
I will remind you that today is particularly hot, so the drips coming off of these berries would be more persistent, and it would probably only take a few moments to start hearing, almost like raindrops, just the.
And is this in the courtyard?
Yep.
Like the enclosed garden area?
Yeah.
Oh,
You probably saw a few of the berries back before. It does seem as though the courtyard has made its way, grown up into the second level.
I think we should keep moving.
Yeah.
No.
Persisting, you investigate the rest of the building and find nothing else of interest. It has been
Just
an
the
hour and a
berries.
half.
Sticky berries.
Sticky berries.
Sticky berries and a couple plants that hissed at Brolin.
That was in the previous building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You have a half hour left of work that you can do. You can push yourself another. You could do one more building. You could travel a good distance just to scout some areas too. You could scout, which is just you stopping by a place, spending a few moments there, or you can investigate more buildings, or whatever. It's D&D. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
I start my walk towards Waterdeep.
Something to note because of proximity. I didn't think about this. You are very close to that area from before. I would say at one point or another, you would hear the chanting outside one of the windows of this building. And if any of you were to peer outside, you can see that the procession has moved its way from land to this area out here, this outcropping. You can see, any of you can see quite clearly now, since the space is only but 200, like 5 minute distance away, but 200 feet away, that the grung seems to have been hoisted quite a distance up in the air on a very large sort of like wooden effigy of something. You're not sure really what shape it's taking, and it's been tied to it, and it's in the middle of you can hear it just, I don't even know if you can hear it, but you can look at it just sort of struggle and like weakly like open its maw and close it, open its maw and close it. This creature seems very distressed, but you can see dancing around the effigy on this outcropping are at least almost a dozen veggie-pygmies, and then there's one with like a big sort of like chieftain-esque hat that's like shaking like a staff kind of situation. And there's some steam boiling up around them. It seems as though the events of their night are picking up.
Sounds like a whole lot of nope to me.
Is there a smallish stone in the courtyard?
Oh no.
Yeah, you could probably easily find a stone. It would probably be a piece of like a ruined pillar or something that fell long ago.
I dip it in the sap and try and stick it to the wall.
Okay, yeah, you dip it in the sap and go to the wall, and it immediately falls to the ground. It does persist on it. It definitely doesn't hold enough stick to keep a half-pound stone on the wall. But yeah, you could dip it in, and it does feel like it's not. It doesn't have like a resistance of that of like molasses or anything. It's very much, you sort of dip it in, and it's kind of like dipping into like a muddy water kind of situation. And
Okay.
and yeah, you can put it on the wall. It just clatters to the ground. Make a sleight of hand check.
Oh. Gotta beat my passive. Ha.
Nice. Yeah, you managed not to get any on your fingers as you reach down and accomplish this.
Preacher, what are you doing?
He said it was sticky. I wanted to see how sticky.
Not a lot sticky.
I think we should be careful about what we touch.
Yeah, that's why I didn't touch it. I used a rock.
This is its own building, by the way. This tiny little boy. Yeah.
So do we want to hit another one, or should we start our walk?
Yeah, you have time left. It's up to what you'd like to do.
Do we want to go here? Or here?
Because we could cut up
Here?
like right next to where we are, like straight north, right? That wouldn't take more than a couple minutes, since it's touching.
Yeah. Yeah, you could get up there.
Well, this one is walled. It's a good napping point.
Hopefully. Maybe.
Sure.
Okay.
All right. Moving up to the building just north.
E.
Yeah.
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 Maybe.
We're gonna turn into those Budweiser frogs.
Or
Bud.
yes.
All right. Let me just check here.
Bud. Zer. Bud. Zer.
Bud,
Why?
sir.
Sorry.
Oh my god. Oh no, I didn't want that one.
I think we just dated ourselves.
We
I think you
did.
did, like, real bad.
We're old, motherfucker.
Oh.
Foot in the grave, mother. Gonna die.
Let me get a quick peek at this building. I'm gonna move you guys out of the way really quick. Okay, cool. All right, yeah, you enter into what looks to be a sort of court, like it definitely has a wall around it, like a courtyarded building. As you step past the wall, which is crumbling in some points, there doesn't even seem to be a central building to it. And you do know that outside there seem to be 3 separate buildings attached to the side of the wall. There are entrances to those within as well. You see that the center building definitely seems quite smaller than the one you did before, though there are multiple other buildings, like I just mentioned, that you would have to investigate as well. Where would you all start? Center building or start investigating those side buildings?
Center?
Center.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I check for traps.
Go ahead. Make a roll for that.
I checked for shrines.
Do you? I mean, you can. You could look around for like. Yeah, you could literally spend the time instead looking, like, trying to peer around for other potential areas if you wanted to.
Oh no, I was just jokingly referring that this is a pretty high chance shrine by its shape.
You see the building in the center, though it looks very small, probably held very large glass windows and a large sort of glass dome top to it. This seems to be something that very similar. You've seen a glass dome in the compound you found Orvex in. You saw a glass dome in the marketplace that you recently were in, and this is yet another one. It does seem to be a common piece of architecture in Old Omnuan. But stepping closer to this building, it does seem like it was probably built a little more delicately. There is detail into it, very similar to that of very very similar to that of the mansion that you were just in. It's a little bit. It was probably once a bit fancier. Upon entering into the building itself, you see that there is a single chamber that seems to have wrapped around it a singular shelf of sorts that sort of juts out, a workbench that circles all the way around. There are many boxes and crates that seem to have definitely deteriorated over time. A few stone-like boxes that were sort of like built out into the wall, some containers of sorts that were built, and some shelves as well, sort of surrounding this area. You imagine that this area would allow a lot of natural light to come in. At the very center, there is a single pedestal that seems to hold what looks to be a metal device of some sort. You're not 100% sure what it is from this distance, but it looks to be some sort of metallic, very very rusted metallic device. You can see very old painting all around that seems to show the symbols of a Sioux monster. The one of the trickster nine, the 9 trickster gods that you recall.
Hey, Orvex.
Yes.
What is this building to you?
And he looks around and says, it seems like a workshop of sorts, but it puzzles me in some places. Let me inspect this device here. This is interesting. And he immediately hands the plant to whoever's closest to him, to War. He just hands it to War. Says, yeah, I'll come back for it in a moment. He never will.
Rolling.
Yeah, he's very tired of holding that thing. But he will immediately step up, and you see Orvex pull out of his pocket what looks to be a series of magnifying, like those little, what are they called? It's like spy glasses or whatever. Not
Oh, nice.
those little magnifying things. And he kind of fans them out and just kind of looks like magnifying glasses. It's just, it's definitely Omnuan architecture. Crude, but it holds. I believe it holds some pieces of what I've seen before in out of a jeweler's kit. So I believe it probably used it to probably carve gems at one point. At one point, I mean, at least from what scrolls I've seen, gems and other beautiful objects of great value are something used quite often in Chultan architecture and in their clothes and many things. It was a very, very rich place at one point. I imagine that if I'm right, the mansion over there that we just walked through was probably the home of whoever this jeweler was, a very prominent person in the city, I imagine.
So would those back buildings be storages?
They very well could be. Most of these tools seem damaged.
Do we see anything on the shelf?
Yeah, you can see. Yeah, there are just sort of the worn away boxes that seem to be only holding their bare frame together in certain places. Some of those stone containers protruding out from the wall. Do you guys want to just full investigate this chamber?
Yeah, I'll do it.
You find many rusted tools that, though none of you are jewelers, you would believe Orvex to say that these probably belonged to one at one point. A great variety that seem to be hanging on the walls in certain places as well. Many of the boxes hold what seems to be deteriorated goods, whatever they were at one point or another, have not survived a time other than there is some very moldy salt in one place, or at least you would believe it to be salt, looking upon it. the powdered sort of white dust that seems to have held a lot of mold in the corners. The containers all seem to hold what looks to be some sort of blackened liquid that's dried over time. That is this point very much just sort of caked at the bottom. The stone containers.
Paintings of the Sioux monster. Which one was that?
The Sioux monster, from what you recall.
I have notes, but they're on the
No, you're
laptop.
fine. The Wongo.
Wongo? Is that the? Is that the giant gorilla looking?
That is the ape, yeah.
Yeah.
So the stuff at the bottom of the containers, is that ink?
You can investigate it if you want. You want to like get down there and like touch it and stuff, and
I
Figure
could,
it out.
rifle through some of that stuff.
yeah, make an investigation check for me. Yeah, you go to put your hand at the bottom, and it does seem to some of it comes off and sort of piercing in your hand. You're not sure. It could have once been ink. It could have also been maybe concentrated charcoal, but you're not sure if that would survive. It's just sort of like it feels like it's a liquid that has essentially carterized. It's just like it's old. Like whatever was in here was probably put in here many times, and what was left has just grown in this area, just kind of caked to it, dried up, and whatever was left.
Smell like anything?
Yeah, you give it a whiff, and it does give you definitely does give you the hint of I would say like a bitterness.
Bitter.
Yeah,
Maybe from those plants.
perhaps.
Why don't we check out those back sheds then? I guess if there's nothing else in here, right? Other than those boxes and the mortar pestle, whatever that. Do
Yeah.
we want to take a break real quick too?
Yep, we can definitely take a break before you guys do that.
9 o'clock.
We will be back in 5 minutes, my friends. See you in just a moment. And we are back. Welcome back, friends, to Tomb of Annihilation as we step back into our party, going building to building as they try to uncover the secrets of the lost city of Omu. You have recently just stepped into what seems to be a jeweler's pavilion. And investigated the workshop proper, a very open circular building that seems to hold what will look to be a very vast amount of tools and containers, some with dark liquids at the bottom and very old salts or something of this sort, powders. And the last thing brought up, I believe, was Valfine bringing up that to investigate the possibility of those other 3 buildings attached to this compound as being storage units.
So, shall we?
Might as well.
Shall?
Alright. We investigate the storage units.
All right.
What's behind door number 1?
Yes. So, door number 1, you swing open, and it does seem to be it's stone door. Takes some heft to open, as these do seem like sealed. Doesn't seem like they've taken quite as much damage. Perhaps the stone was built a little bit thicker, and it does take some work. But 2 of you with a combined strength score of 20, or 1 of you with a strength score of 20, can just open this. Does anybody have a direct 20 or no?
No.
No. So 2 of you.
Might.
Oh wait, what's up?
I said Brolin might.
Oh, Brolin, do you have 20 strength?
Yeah,
Oh, you do have 20 strength?
Bro, he's got the
I
giant belt.
I have the giant belt. I
You
have
could
21
open
strength.
you could open one of these doors on your
right,
own.
right.
All right.
Yeah. So
His rippling veins.
you open it up and you get the smell of must. The smell of, like, this door is old. It hasn't been opened in a very long time. There is the smell of definitely like just that musty odor of ancient, like, of the years coming out of this thing. Just the old air. May cause some of you to cough a little bit of dust. It's completely pitch black inside.
I have dark vision. Can I see in?
Yes, you can. Those with dark vision would be able to peer inside. I believe Brolin is included in that as well. You see a chamber that is not square. It's circular on the inside. The walls of this building are built especially thick. Cat. Meow, meow, meow. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Okay. He has a cat. But you see that it's a rounded chamber on the inside, almost cone shape, to come up to the center, not allowing for a lot of space in this chamber. You see sitting in the center of the room what looks to be a tall, very thin pedestal that also comes to like a cone shape. And at the very point, your dark vision would show what looks to be a stone at the top of that pedestal of some sort.
What do you?
Is it polished or is it rough cut? Kind of.
There's no light coming in, so from what you can see, it just looks to be a stone. Like the light, though, it's very, very dark.
Go check for traps.
Check for traps.
Okay, go for it.
Hello, kitty cat.
Yeah, you see that lining the walls or lining the entrance seem to be what look to be small holes. Line on either side.
Oh shit. Any tripwires or anything?
Yes, there's a tripwire right below.
I would like to use my thieves' tools
Go for
and
it.
undo the trap.
Go for it. It will be with disadvantage only because this is like ancient. You can see that the wire is barely holding on. If you were to touch it just the wrong way, it would fray, and who knows what would happen. Like it has been sitting there for a really long time. So disadvantage to that. Okay, you carefully, with the best of your ability, attempt to disable this. You pluck the string and hold it ever so softly, so that it doesn't twist away. And with your other hand, use your tools to sort of lock the mechanism on the other side in place to the best of your ability. You like stick probably one of those lock picks in there and just sort of shove whatever mechanism would have allowed something to come out of these holes. You're not sure what, and you've disabled the trap.
Okay, it looks good.
Okay. Next, we send in Trap.
Who is Trap?
Oh, that's my.
Or
that's my
Trigger.
zombie.
Sorry.
Yeah, Trigger.
Trigger. All right, sending Trigger in with what kind of orders?
We said next time.
Oh, next time?
No, I was saying next we send in Trigger.
No.
Oh. Yeah, you're faced with an empty chamber. Well, not an empty chamber, obviously, as a pedestal, but just a dark chamber before you.
All right. I guess I'll march. I'll have him do a parade march around the periphery of the room.
We can see the flesh, the purple flesh, start to goop off of its face, now showing more skeletal than anything. Along your travels, pieces have dropped off. Probably leaving a trail, you're not sure. Because these guys are still decomposing. And it just... and it moves into the darkness. Those with dark vision would see it pretty much disappear upon entering into this vast, this small chamber. Those with see the creature enter, sort of bump into the pedestal, and you hear a ting 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 ting, and it just stands there in the room.
I think we're good.
Wait, what is this again?
What you're looking at right now is a circular chamber that you've opened up, and at the very center was a pedestal with some sort of stone upon it. You've opened it up, disabled a trap on the door, and sent Alexander sent one of our undead servants inside. He approached the pedestal, knocked into it, and you heard a ting 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 ting.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Nothing seems to happen. He's just standing there.
Good boy, Trigger. Well, it's safe for the undead, at least.
We're
With Dark
walking.
Vision, wants to go and find that gem that we accidentally knocked off the pedestal.
War, you would have to squeeze to get in here, but you can if you want.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Is it that small of a door?
It is a very thin door, yeah.
Okay.
You can, though,
No.
but you would be squeezing. So I need to know
Brolin
that.
is the smallest of us here.
Yeah, Brolin is.
And
Brolin is
also-
hopefully the smallest of us here.
I mean, Freesia.
Somebody give me a light.
Do you have dark vision? You're a
No.
fae. You should. You don't?
It didn't give me
A
dark
lot of
vision.
things do not give dark vision.
What the hell?
Dark vision is not a given, unfortunately.
That's so weird.
It's not only humans. Only humans can
I
see.
I don't have
have
dark vision.
Velveteen hands, Freesia torch.
Now you can light it. You want to enter into the tomb?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Entering into the tomb of annihilation.
Is this the Tomb of Annihilation?
You enter in, and the light hits hits Trap. You're the undead servant of Alexander. He just sort of backs up. And you can see before you, so looking around the chamber, it does seem to have actually held some beautiful Omnuan paintings. You see around you what looks to be very similar images telling the story of Wongo and, let me grab it really quick. Wongo and Moa. Of quite beautiful, but as you look around at all of them, it seems to be more decoration than anything. The pedestal as well seems to hold some level of decoration. You can see it is actually carved out to look like a standing sort of monkey effigy, kind of just like sitting there, and its arms kind of like clasped up. All of it's sort of built to be very like thin. It seems at one point to be holding something, but it's not there anymore. And as you shine your light over, you see there is a stone on the ground that seems to reflect the light back at you in a vibrant blue.
I pick it up.
You pick up a gem.
I attempt to put it around my head.
Around your head? What do you mean? You attempt to put it around. King. It drops.
Oh no, I was prepared to catch it. It was just
Yeah, it just drops.
Nice.
Even if it was magical, you're not attuned to it, and you don't have any idea if it is. Right now, you're just holding what seems to be a beautiful gem.
Just bluffing the DM.
Yeah. Looking around the
What'd you
chamber,
find?
it seems plain other than that. See an undead buddy. You're muted.
We can't forget
apparently a
him.
gem cutter.
It does seem to be of probably very, very finely made. Like it's been cut.
Okay. Roland, yank open the next door.
What am I, just a muscle now?
Alright, go to yank open the next door. You go through a similar process with a similar chamber. The trap of this one has deteriorated. It is no longer together, but the chamber inside seems to hold similar paintings. The only real difference between it is the statue seems to cover its eyes instead of its head, or its ears as it was before. And there is a stone atop it that you can easily look inside. It seems to glow
this one?
a vibrant red, but it seems cruder than the one before. It looks as though it was probably in the process of being worked on.
All right.
Moving to the
There's three of them, right?
there are three. You move to the third.
Yeah, because the second one you said the trap was.
It was
deteriorated.
deteriorated. Yeah, it had either already gone off or something. You actually would see darts on the ground.
Nice.
Yeah.
I
Brolin,
pick up one of those darts to take a look at it.
it looks as though at one point it probably had some dried sort of liquid on the end, but it's whatever kind of potency it had is gone.
Nice.
Brolin, you opening the third?
Yeah.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh no!
Okay. Come on, gotta give me something tonight. Game.
All right.
Oh,
As you open the door, you immediately hear like a twink, and you hear and you hear the bolts like snap against the doorway, and one manages to bounce its way out, ricochet up, and poke you right in the arm. Brolin catches you right in the arm. Make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh no!
I have resistance against poison.
You do.
And at advantage, right? Because you're a dwarf.
Yes. So I'd get advantage on this.
You will take 4 points of piercing damage as it plunks right into your flesh. Nice. You will only take half of, half and half again because the potency is so gone. So, so
I'm down 4.
half to 4, half to 2 poison damage. So you can just sort of feel the sting on the end, like it was definitely poison. You can pluck it out. You've only taken a total of 6 damage, but you hear the rest. One probably like rolls out, but you're able to open the rest of the chamber. Within.
Good job, Roland. You disabled the trap.
Yeah. All right, you guys go in. I don't want to play this game anymore.
Nicely done.
Within the final
I guess
chamber.
I will encourage Brolin with my words.
Are you gonna heal him a little bit?
Yeah.
Top him off.
An even better trigger than my own.
Let's see. You heal up the wound completely. It seals. We see a little bit of like fairy dust and like a magic little band-aid shows up. Beep, and the heart on it.
Around the dart. still in there.
It's still in there. You
I
can take-
pulled it out.
You
I
pulled it out.
pulled it
You
out.
pulled it out. That just would add so much character. This final chamber, upon investigation, which I imagine you guys will do,
Yeah.
it has the monkey covering the mouth, but you can see its evil grin sort of curl over past its fingers, and it holds yet another stone on it. This one, the crudest of all. It seems like rock is still inside of it. It seems like it hasn't been touched yet by a jeweler.
What color is it, though?
It is yellow.
Okay.
Topaz.
And you can hear Ovex. This is fascinating. Each gem he wants to look at, if you'll show him,
Yeah.
and just say, "Oh, this is an artifact, a piece of unknown history. To think that these have lasted so long and not been pilfered as of yet. The creatures have probably not taken the effort to open these doors. Not this close to the lava pit, and I imagine this is we are the first to gaze upon these since its maker touched them last. Oh, this is a great find." These would probably fetch anywhere between 200, maybe 500 gold pieces each. Or at least the cut one. The uncut, maybe in the lower hundreds, but it would definitely fetch a fine price. If I were able to get back to my account, I may offer you an offer on these.
Let's
We
not
should
get too
probably
excited.
do a detect magic once we're set up for the night.
You definitely can. I will say that was your guys' last half hour, if I am not incorrect.
Oh, that's right.
Let's put this on the map. So I will allow you guys to bed down in pretty much any of the buildings you've already been in. Basically, any building you've been in yet. I would say, any you can reach any of the buildings you've already been in without getting a level of
I
exhaustion.
personally kind of like the gem cutters thing because it's walled.
Yeah. Did we find any So are you talking the mansion, Alex? Like the
No,
mansion
it's
portion
where
or
we're
the
at.
actual workshop?
Yeah.
Okay,
If
yeah.
we move our things out of the way, it's a walled thing that doesn't seem to have any real damage map wise.
Is that workshop big enough for all of us, including Orvex, Ed?
The workshop, no. I mean, you could probably all. I mean, it's six of you. It would be uncomfortable. It's not a very large room, per se. Sleeping on the floor wouldn't be great. Opening the bubble though, the bubble would fit. You could bubble in here if you wanted to be inside this building. Actually, it would almost perfectly fit.
So as long as the bubble fits, we should be okay, even if Orvex
Yeah.
is here. I mean, it'll be a little more tight because he's an extra body,
We've
but
had this many people in the bubble before.
I think so.
'Cause we used to have artists and Dragon Maiden bubble.
Yeah, that's fair. Yep.
Yeah, physically it fits 9. I don't know if that's spell-wise the same.
Yeah, so we should be good. Yeah, we're fine.
Also, 5x5 squares are kind of large.
That's true. They are.
That's fair.
So setting up to rest for the night. What kind of watches do we got going on here? Who's going? What order? Any role play?
How many shifts of watch again?
4, like normal.
I mean, Valthine can take 2, I suppose.
Do you want to take the first 2?
Yeah, I'll take it. Valthine will take the first 2.
Who's
yeah.
grabbing number 3?
Okay.
Cool. And number 4?
I'll take
I'll
the
do
last
it.
one.
Oh,
Okay. So we will
gets
go
to sleep.
Valfine, War, and then Freesia.
Casters need to sleep. Yep.
As you guys are setting up for camp, effectively, sort of getting a look around the area, you do notice there is a breach in the wall behind you, but that seems to be the only other what could be an entrance. Someone would have to crawl to get through it. But the only other possible entrance that you can see outside of climbing the wall, than the entrance itself. So two ways in.
Okay, and we're in the bubble too, so that should be
Yes, you're in the bubble.
nothing enters anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Who took the gems?
Who did? I believe Frisha has them
I think
all?
I was the one who went in, so I probably have them.
Yeah.
Hey, Freesia.
Yeah.
Mind if I take a look at those during my watch?
Of course not.
Hand them over to her.
Being sarcastic.
These 3 stones.
Oh, no.
Each are
You can definitely look at the gems.
each are probably about this big.
I can detect Valoria's sarcasm, but not yours that easily.
It's shared loot.
Okay.
That's magical. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, would Valoria want to cast Detect Magic on these?
Do you
I mean,
ask
we
them?
are wrapping up for the night, so yeah, I can cast that.
Set them down 3 in front of you.
Detect magic?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You open up that sense, you let that spell sort of invigorate you as your vision shifts and change, and you see just sort of the purple arcane way lines around you. And these stones hold nothing. But you do see the circling around the different magic items in the party, but most prominently and brightest in the room is almost wreathed around your friend Valpine, who sits across from you in this moment, almost wreathed like wings that are kind of curled in, a vast light of magic that seems to sort of curl and suck towards the center of her back, over her shoulders, around her sides. But these stones are non-magical.
So, you're saying she's breathed in magic that is being sucked into her back?
Yes, it kind of like pulls over her shoulder, very like close to the skin, as it's sort of like we can sort of like hear that sort of arcane whisper in your ear kind of situation when you're in this kind of magic, I can see magic zone, and it just sort of is most like vibrant and loud near her.
So she's like a magic item, and it's being like sucked into her.
It
well,
is
I know
centered.
her back
It
when
is
it's
centered
there.
into her back. Yeah.
Okay. So, I'll pick up the magic, or the not magical items. These are not magical in any way. They're mundane.
Okay.
I'll hand them back to Falfine. And then I'll take my hands and I'll put them on each of her shoulders. Just straight up Spider-Man
Yeah.
into the Spider-Verse, hey, but with both hands.
You-
And then she'll say, I need to attune to you.
What?
You sleep with me tonight, we must attune.
Oh my god.
As you put your hands on her shoulders, you can see the sort of ripples of magic as they curl over your fingers.
Fascinating.
You do identify that magic as sec. Nice date. So necromancy, illusion, conjuration, evocation. It's evocation.
I always knew you were hiding an explosive nature behind that cool demeanor.
What are you talking about?
I will say under my breath, you know you're a fireball waiting to happen, right?
Is the jungle heat getting to you right now?
I can see in all the colors of the magic.
Good night, Valoria.
Are you aware that you are a magic item?
Are you trying to pick me up?
No, I have no strength. That would never work. But I am my playfulness aside. Now that I've seen this before, and I haven't brought it up, but now you seem more vibrant than you normally are. So,
Are
I
you
just,
seriously?
Is this happening right now?
I'm
5
saying this
feet-
under my breath. I have expressed that.
He is
You are
whispering it.
4 feet in front
You
of
guys are like right next to each other if you're in the bubble. It's really hard to like.
you.
Say it in Celestial.
You could.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'll say this all in Celestial. That makes sense because she wants to keep it private.
Yeah.
Brolin's is sitting there with Susan.
That's good for Brolin.
We're like Ariel singing
When
to each
you're
other.
doing this, I start playing romantic music.
Oh, no. We got like the Little Mermaid song going. That's how we talk.
Kiss Valfine.
Yeah. I was thinking more. As we like that's Celestial.
That's true. But seriously though, she's confused. Like, I don't know how to explain this to you without you actually casting the spell on yourself. Can I cast this on you? No, I can't. But still, you have a great amount of magical aura, and it's being sucked in. Can you turn around? I mean, I'm assuming I know where it's going, but it would be rude to not follow through on the theory. You know what? I'll just walk around you.
So Valfine stands still. Yeah.
You turn to walk.
Looking very awkward.
Yeah, you turn to walk around, and yes, you see the point of light, a single sliver that seems to be at Valfine's back. You see the magic, which is purple. All the signs of magic for you are purple. That you can see all the way lines, and you can see that now, looking upon further inspection, that it is in fact not sucking in but flowing out. You can see that there is just a radiating pinpoint of magic in her lower back.
Ah. So where I once thought the magic was being sucked into your
It's very bright.
Fissure.
It's hard to look directly at.
but there's magic coming out of it. Does it hurt? Like pringly sensation? I'm not talking about when Brolin slaps it, but like passively.
It's always hurt.
Well,
She kind of, winces. It's just, you can tell it's been bugging her for a long time. You noticed also, she hasn't really been hiding it too well, but there's no ointment left. We used it to heal everyone previously, so.
I can't see it now because it's blinding, but do I recall if it was like a flesh wound or if it was just some strange fissure? Because I did see it before.
It was like a fissure, like a scarred over kind of situation.
Oh, okay. Well, if anything is causing the pain, I would imagine it would be the evocation magic. It's very volatile and sparky, sometimes swooshy, but almost always deadly.
What'd you say?
What?
I said sometimes boomy.
Sometimes
boomy. You're sure it's evocation?
Well, it's not in the spell's nature to lie, so I would be surprised if it wasn't. I am not detecting anything else, correctly? It's just the evocation? There's no other magic present?
No. I mean, there is other magic present in the room. You have plenty of magical items.
No, who cares about those?
That is a single source of evocation, yes.
All right, I'm staring at the sun, and the sun is evocation. All right. Yes, it is. It is pure evocation magic. I imagine if you were to create some kind of one-winged appendage of this magic, and if you were to slap Brolin with it, he would explode.
Okay.
Or anything, really.
Wouldn't I need to be rather close for that to happen?
Well, it depends on how large you make the appendage. There's quite a bit of this magic kind of oozing over you right now, so you could
I'm not
probably
level
get
7,
5,
I don't
10
have
feet.
evasion yet. That's a bad idea.
Well, it could work more like a searing hand smite. But joking aside, it's certainly fascinating. Are you aware of any of the things I'm talking about, or am I just like what's going on here?
All I know is the pain. But you said it's flowing out?
Hold on, let me see if I have some ointment for that edge.
All I know is pain.
Pain and darkness.
Darkness.
All right, I'll turn the lights on. Damn.
I don't know much about it. The last several years of my life have been devoted to figuring out what that is. And I don't know.
Well, you've only known me for a couple months, and we've made leaps and bounds of discoveries here, because that's definitely evocation. So we know magic is coming out of you. But it's not coming from you. At least I don't think it is. Because if it was, it would...
What'd you say, Alex?
Kind of sounds like it was going into her.
It did at first, but then when I looked directly at it, he said it was coming out of the wound.
Oh.
Yeah.
So,
It's coming out.
yeah, it's definitely coming out, and it isn't exhausting you beyond the unending and consistent pain, which leads me to believe that it's not your magic. It's coming from elsewhere, like a rift or a portal
To a plane.
to a plane of evocation magic, a plane of
Water.
fire, perhaps. Oh wait, the plane of storms. What is that? That feels important. We were talking about that before, right?
Valoria, if I were to die, would I explode?
I have no way to answer that. I mean, it's just raw magic. It's not being channeled into any kind of spell, as far as I can see. So I imagine it would just dissipate. Hopefully not explosively.
Unless whatever killed you is on top of you. And then
Ooh.
hopefully explosively.
I'm just picturing that explosive ragged doll from South Park,
Oh my god.
but it's actually Valvine.
Looking at the state of things, would it be possible to use this magic? Could we siphon it off of her, or maybe weaken it by using it up so it maybe doesn't hurt as bad?
How would you use it?
Well, I'm thinking what I would do is I'd have a wand in one hand and my hand on her shoulder with the other, and then we would just turn into a fireball turret. Boom!
I become Valoria's focus.
Your your vast knowledge of
Tune to
magic,
me, baby.
your vast knowledge of magic would inform you very clearly that just because She's radiating it. You putting your hand on it doesn't mean like you would need a spell, a conduit, a way to connect to that and actually channel it if you wanted to. But I don't know if you have like an absorb elements or something of the kind. I'm not sure. Something that can actually do that.
So if I jam my wand in there like an antenna,
It would be your wand in her back.
although technically it wouldn't be in her back because this is definitely a portal, not viscera.
Except it's scarred over.
Yeah, as far as from what you can see, though it's quite bright, it doesn't exist on the outside of her. It's the in.
The inside.
Yeah.
Ah, so there's a portal inside you. Okay. And I'm guessing the pain is because the magic is forcing itself through your epidermis, which is exacerbating the nerve endings.
Make an Arcana check for me, since you're really going in on this.
Okay. Making an
Arcana
Arcana check. Gonna completely invalidate all of my knowledge up until this point.
Let's see. I mean, it's a roll. You can just continue just spitballing. That's fine.
Wait, okay. So that's 3
Your
natural ones
inspiration!
You can use your inspiration if you want.
for Kyle tonight.
You can use.
God, that's the third one!
You can use
That
your.
was-
It's up to you.
Brolin got 3 5.
Actually, you're supposed to go before. Sorry, you can't. We had to hold
Oh
to
my
that.
God.
You gotta
I-
decide to inspire first.
Have rolled 3 times tonight,
Oh my
Uh-huh.
Sucks.
and they have all been ones. This game
Rough.
does not want me to be here.
Rough.
So, enjoy, everybody.
Come back here. You can only spitball, Alexandria. Your knowledge of this is it's curious. It's very interesting, but it's only theory.
I already know everything. This role is representative of my distracting, my nature of being distracted because
As the
I'm staring at this wound and I'm being handsy with this hot elf.
as Alexandria.
It's all over the place.
Alexandria and Valfian go into a conversation that only few can understand, just them. Is there any back and forth between War Brolin and Freesia? Anything that you guys discuss before the night's watch begins?
I keep forgetting his name.
Orvex, he is here. I just don't have
Orvex.
him on this exact thing.
Okay, yeah. So I ask Orvex. I don't think we've asked him this yet. But hey, listen,
Brolin,
Orvex, I got a question for you.
hold this for me, will you? And he just hands you the one of the water satchels that you gave him before, and he hands it to you real quick as he's in the middle of he's like messing with like a plant and he's like squeezing it out and trying to get some liquid into the
That's not Susan, is it?
No, it's not. It's just from some sort of like plant. Like he's trying to get like some like
No.
aloe or
He's
something.
so
in
done
there.
with it, he's just ringing in the ficus.
Just like, hopefully, I saw the Red Wizards using these. Supposed to help with exhaustion, maybe, I don't know.
Well, listen, we got a question for you. Maybe War might pay attention to this.
Turns over to all of you. You all have a question for me?
While you were here with your Red Wizard friends, did you happen to see
Yes?
a guy?
A guy.
I mean, I don't know. Well, what does artist look like? Is this a human? He's got a beard. He's got a face. More importantly, he was with another person. He was
Artist?
a lizard man.
Lizard man. One of the lizard folk.
Kind of looks different. He smells
quite.
with. He talks with smells.
Talks with smell. Oh. That sounds like a very fascinating individual.
Anyway, he's got a big honking sword on his back.
No, I'm not sure. It seems fantastical, although we came across very few individuals upon entering Omu. We came in a party of Oh, how many of us were there now? At least 18 mercenaries. There were 9 red wizards. 3 were left to patrol the outer skirts of Omu, along with a host of at least, I believe, 6 mercenaries with them, and then the remainder came into the city. We know that there are 3 that perished, 3 red wizards that perished in the fight that you saved me from, and a host of mercenaries as well. What is of the rest of them I do not know, but that was the entirety of our companionship. We did come across a camp at one point, I believe, midway through the city. Not much there, I imagine, travelers, maybe a little fresh. There was the only thing I remember of note is there was a flag of sorts, a yellow sheet tied to a spear.
Did I, talking to Alexandria, did I hear any of the bit about the Red Wizards?
Yeah, this is the same room. Yeah, you definitely hear Orvex speaking. Other than that, we encountered a few grung, scared them off, veggie pygmy as well. The grung a bit more aggressive, had to kill a few. And then upon entering the palace, we were attacked by the Yuan-Ti. Left then and made our way to the compound where they believed one of the would be safe, one of the shrines behind it, and I believe that was the extent of our interaction. Other than that, well, not your lizard friend, but the very big one, the T-Rex, as you called them. And there's another thing that we did see.
That symbol with the what did you say that was? It was like a yellow cloth wrapped on a stick or something?
Yes, their camp held it seemed abandoned in at least a few months, at the very least. We didn't spend much time there. I believe they marked it as a place to possibly return to if it seemed safe enough to rest. It had a spear tied to it, a yellow cloth, tattered, weather-worn.
Does Brolin know what that is?
No, don't even make a check. You would have no idea.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Crap.
Or make an intelligence check. Okay. No, don't disregard. Yeah. He says, I'm sorry, we've only been in the city a handful of days before the fight. The few that we've seen, though the city is quite vast, we only discovered a few points. Any other questions for me? I do so enjoy the attention.
No, I don't think so. Crap.
Oh, all right.
Well, how are we gonna find Artis?
We'll find him. It'll be fine.
God, I don't have no idea how long he's been even in this city. Probably deeper in.
Seems that he's a little further ahead of us. But if we pursue our goals, we'll either meet up with him, find him.
Yeah, I guess there's no other option.
All right. Yes?
Would probably be... He's sitting there with, like, the written out notes of, like, the story that he had told earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd probably ask him a few questions to like double check and make sure he got the details right.
Yeah, he would correct you in a few moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would like just like today. He said, "Oh no. Kubazan is the one who quarrels with Papazotl, not Shakam. Be it that's Nang Nang." And he's just like putting the two together.
That's all made up words.
Yeah, definitely. He'll help you get the story down pat. Frisha, anything from you before the watch begins?
No. Appreciate is getting an early night's sleep.
Sleep. Yeah, you have the last watch. Excellent. So, as the watches begin, you are on first shift. Valfine, are you rolling or taking a passive? I'll do this for both shifts.
Just passive is fine.
Passive 18, cool. Your perception this night is, you imagine you walk the courtyard, check outside the walls here and there, making sure things are safe, staying out of sight. Oh, silly thing that's been messaged to me, Alex. You are silly. As you search out the night, nothing seems to disturb your shifts other than Valfine. You do hear what sounds like cries coming from the south, other than like the bubbling sound of the lava pit that you are quite close to, which are ever present here and there. You can hear them over the wind. Some of that heat catches you once in a while, makes its way over the walls as you are quite close to that area. But you hear what seems like the revelry going on near the lava pit to the southeast is picking up. You can hear just the screams of joy and excitement from the creatures in that direction. I would I think just for dramatic purposes, there would be probably moments where you could almost, because it's so dark and the only light coming out of this area, because it's just, the city is pitch black. There's no lights anywhere. You don't see any campfires. You don't see anything. But the light of the magma pit seems to just echo up, and shadows are being cast. You can see the movement of creatures as the light makes its way in very many directions, but it hits these walls at certain points, and you can see that some of that light does reflect, and you can hear the revelry picking up about halfway through your first shift. Do you do anything? Stick your position, up to you.
I guess after first leaving, after listening to Alexandria, I think she probably, like, the color would have drained from her face, like listening to all of the like the theory crafting and stuff on it.
Yeah.
And she'd probably stop before starting her patrol and have like a mild panic attack.
Okay.
Like right outside.
Yeah, like right outside. At the same time, you can hear that revelry building up with your panic.
And then, like, finally, after like 5-10 minutes, probably catch her breath and like that puking feeling.
Yeah.
When the color leaves your face, you're like,
Absolutely.
And then probably go on the walk. She would ignore the sounds coming from the thing. There's no way you want to draw attention, especially from a group of
absolutely
cultist veggie pygmies.
Through your shift, it does come to a peak, and there are just like the highest possible shouts. It comes up almost like a roller coaster, and then you hear what sounds like a crashing sound from that direction. The wails of excitement seem to dull down, but are still persistent. You feel as though there are less voices to add to the chorus now, and but the excitement still rises its way through the air. But slowly, through your second shift, it dissipates completely.
Okay. Interesting. I guess probably on the walk too. She probably would be fiddling with the gems. 3 gems we found.
Oh yeah. Twiddling them in your hands, absolutely.
You're eyeballing them.
Yeah, both your shifts go unhindered, perfectly clean. You're able to wake up War for his third shift.
Hey, War.
Yeah.
You're up.
Is it time? Okay.
War. As you take the shift, you walk out into the night. There is a calm over Omu as you step out into the courtyard. Your shift also goes unhindered as you walk the ancient cobblestones and the thickets of weed grass. And yeah, you it actually goes very peacefully. There would probably be a few moments where you look up at the stars and see probably the same direction, the same stars in the night sky. That, I mean, technically the world circles, but I think just the thought hits you that this is the star, this is the sky of your home.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He probably looks around at some of the paintings and stuff too, and is thinking about the stories.
Yeah. Make a perception check for me.
Sure.
Yeah, you do spot in some of the paintings on the walls depictions of Omnuans at their daily life of crafting, of working for their living, and you would see a few non-humans depicted, couple of dwarves, couple that you could identify as elves from the crude drawings, but you do spot turtles as well. Painted crudely, beautifully across the wall.
Because I think we remembered from the vision that we had, there were turtles.
There were turtles, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, with your shift completed, you can wake up Frisha for her fourth.
Mm-hmm. Ready?
She just looks at you.
She does just look at you.
Your turn.
Then she will go. She'll get up and act. She's going to spend most of her shift sitting in the hole on the wall where the people could get in from the back.
Oh yeah. Spending most of your time in the back of the courtyard, keeping that hole quite safe. You guys were using your passive perceptions, right? Just to clear out. Cool. You sort of walk the area. You get the same beautiful skyline, the same sort of peaceful silence in the moment, and you are just sort of you are just sort of looking up at the sky in this moment, Frisha, and probably wondering, I imagine, and I'm not going to put these thoughts into your head, but I will, as a DM, coerce them towards you. You may take them or leave them.
Massage them in.
Just how far you are away from home. Just how great of a distance you've made from civilization, from where you've come from. And just how sort of isolating this place can feel at times.
She might feel like the wrong person for this particular thoughts. She's a traveler.
Oh, she is a traveler.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Let me shift these particular thoughts. Excitement, I think, would fill you at just the amount of distance that you've made thus far. Looking up at the stars above, you would definitely see almost what feels like a different version of them entirely, without the light of candle torch or of. I mean, there are darker places in that of the proper Faerun proper, where you get a very good view of the sky above, but Chult seems to hold a special particular viewpoint of the skies, and you can see just sort of the purples and blues as they sort of arch their way through, and they remind you of your own magic. It's quite a pleasant moment. In this moment, Frisha, you feel what feels like a vibrating in your pocket.
I reach in for my phone.
Shit.
It's actually in your satchel.
Okay.
You pull it out. Oh man! You reach it and you grasp something that you actually haven't for a very long time. An item given to you quite a while ago. You can feel it thumbing with energy. And as you pull it out of your bag, you see that there is a very small circlet in your hand. One that's so small it would probably fit a baby's wrist. It would be more probably for holding a form of scroll. As you pull it out, it has the symbol of the Harpers right on the front. It's been a long time since you've had this, and it's probably just now you remember that you do. As you pull it out, you see forming on either side what look to be a paper of sorts, like a scroll.
Oh, guess I pull my orders out.
You pull them out, and they immediately wisp from your hand and take form, folding over each other, and form a mouth very close to how Ron Weasley got a Yelper and thing. And we immediately hear a voice come through. As it folds through, we see a grand mustache come through on the paper as well, and you hear a voice.
Oh, I hate this magic. Report! Friesa Larkspur. This is your commander. This is your commander.
And it's a little bit loud in the moment.
Martis.
Sir, I'm in a possibly dangerous situation.
Well, get yourself out of a dangerous situation. I want to report. It's been a month.
I take us into I go into one of the chambers where we found the gem.
At this point, he says, "Are you safe?" And at that point, we look outside. We can hear it just echo. Are you safe? Inside of this thing, it's dulled, but I think we just sort of hear it kind of echo inside of this dome.
I trans through War's shift. Do I hear this?
Yeah, you definitely do.
Does Brolin wake up?
Make a Constitution saving throw.
Watch it roll a 20.
No, you don't wake up.
Nope.
You sleep through this.
So are you in a safe spot?
Safe as I can be in Chult.
Oh, good. And then you have made it to the peninsula without any problems. Good. It's been a while since I've given you a report. How are you, Friesa? Mert misses you quite a bit.
It's been a trying time, though I've almost caught him.
I imagine it has. You have? I was going to wait to ask a little bit longer. I didn't want to get right to the pleasantries. What have you learned? Have you found Artis? Have you found the ring?
I am in the same valley as him now. We found a message from him. He knows I'm following him now.
Of course he does. He was a keen one, he was. I remember he was just a sprout, hard to get a hold of him. In any case, it is critical that you get that ring from him as soon as possible. If it were to fall in the hands of, gods no, undead monstrosity king, whatever they have over there, I'm not sure, it would be catastrophic to Faerun and the Greater Toril. I'm glad to know that you have some progress on the part. I'm sending you some supplies, a care package if it would be. It might take some time to get there. You will want to keep your eyes out for a colourful bird within the next couple of days. Should bring you some survival equipment sent from yours truly, Mert, paid right out of my pocket, the moneylender himself.
So, how clearly do I hear this?
Make a perception check. Oh, very clearly. As you tune into it immediately, you can just be like, what's going on here? you definitely can. You can hear it just through the echo mumble. Anybody else, it wouldn't quite wake up, but you're in a trance. You definitely hear what seems to be a conversation happening outside.
This is... I have with it a few items of Artis's that he left behind. I would like you to, when you find them, return them to him. And also I have a letter for him as well in there to let him know that I am absolutely expecting his obedience in this situation. He should know the danger that he's put the better part of the world in. So, yes, that is effectively why I was calling you. Other than that, just to report on your current progress. I'm glad, happy indeed to hear of your your closeness to finding him. Your reward is still in order, of course, as we previously discussed.
Good. And have they stopped looking for me yet?
I have deterred the majority of them in the time that you are on this mission. I don't believe too many of them will be finding you as of yet. Trust me, I know the right people to talk to. You came to the right Harper, indeed you did. He says, well, I have a very grand gala to attend here in a few moments. Waterdeep's politics. It's that kind of stage. It never waits. The spotlight is always on me.
Well, of course. That's our job.
Do expect Philadelphia to come to you within the 24 hours, and to take care of him when you see him. He is my special boy.
I always do.
All right, very, very good. You will want to remember his name. Write it down.
Oh, don't let him fly in.
Oh, he does fly. Is there a problem?
Oh no.
We're in. The place I'm in has, well, intense aerial security.
Oh, that doesn't bode well. I would suggest you get out of that area. If my precious Philadelphia dies, let's just say that your reward will be subtracted substantially.
So tomorrow? You said?
Tomorrow, he should be toned to this device that you hold in your hand, the circlet.
Okay.
Do make sure you're in a safe enough place that my poor boy does not get blown out of the sky, wherever you are. Well, I believe this has been a very fine conversation. I have about 3 more agents I need to speak to before I get to my gala, so I must be going.
Well, say hi to the Baroness for me.
Things are complicated with the Baroness. I'll get back to you later. I am a man of many. Yes. Good evening to you, Miss Larkspur, and do keep well, and give Artus my Ferris of tidings. Do call him a dick for me, too, if you see him. All right. I'll report back in a few weeks. Good luck to you. And the paper shrivels up. The humming from the circlet dissipates.
I hide my circlet back into the secret pocket in my pouch again.
Yes, absolutely. Goes back into the pocket for you to forget about until it buzzes again.
Yep.
And
in the morning, Prisha goes on a very persuasive discussion about how we should go get a better view of the city to find all of the places we want to get.
So we would move into the following day. So let me just shift this around really quick and back over to this. Very cool. Let me just grab this. It is a normal degree, 95 degrees, normal for Chult. No wind, no rain. It's pretty fair day. Sky above is blue, clouds moving through, the sun makes its way down, though the smoke sort of still pillars up from the lava pit to your east. It doesn't cover up too much of the sky, dissipates before then, and you would hear the chirping of the birds, the jungle sort of coming to life around the basin, and light hitting this courtyard through the windowless panes to wake all of you up. To a new day. Welcome.
So I was thinking during my shift that we should get to the high ground again so we can get an overview of this.
Delphine gives you a stink eye.
Or, because we need to search buildings, we could get started right away, because if we do, we could search 48 of them. just today. 48 buildings. That's a lot of Omen.
Why 48 building? Why would you want to do that?
I don't think we could do 48 buildings.
No, it's like
I
a
think you're
building
thinking
is a building is
16
half.
buildings.
Wait,
No, a building is half an hour. There's 24 hours in a day.
Valoria
That's
could
2
haste
per
me.
hour.
Yep.
That's 48.
Every hour past 8, you will roll to see if you get exhaustion, and the roll goes higher for each persisting hour.
Valoria could haste me.
Yeah, I could haste the rogue. Speed clearing, baby.
Doesn't affect anything. Sorry.
What?
No.
16
Do I have to use
It would be
Risha's
2 minor.
exhaustion
It'd be this
points.
I
16.
Die at 6.
So it doesn't
only
e-
takes that-
it doesn't even matter if you speed yourself up. The rules of Omu, as dictated by the book, you can only ever move 200 feet every 5 minutes. It's just it's too thick. It's too much crap to get around.
All right, fuck it. Let's clear
So I
buildings
can't
on the way to
double
the
my
front.
movement to 400 feet per action?
Yeah, over getting out of the city from where you are is about 1,000 feet, I would say, on average. There, from where you are, yeah, about 1,000 feet. So that is 25 minutes to a half hour, basically. We'll round it up.
Suppose now that we're looking for shrines, we can try to tag buildings we think are those. But
Weren't we trying to go and go search that one temple with the frog tentacle monk?
Yes, we know we're searching for temples. We know where one is. It's the frog monster's temple. We should be going that way.
Yes, we should. Frisha.
Listen, you know, all these buildings over here we could search, and then we can go
Yeah.
search the build right here. Do you see me clicking on it?
Yeah, we can search buildings on the way if that's really our.
Okay, that. All right.
Oh my god.
I have turned it
I have
on.
advantage against being charmed.
Mhm.
I'm just like you. You stop that right now.
Oh, I can actively charm too. That's its own thing.
The only way you'll get me to agree to this plan is to charm me, and I'll remember that. Now I'm happy about it.
Not the Fey charm. People love me even after it's done.
Keep telling yourself that.
I'm not an NPC. It doesn't work that way with me. I have free will.
What will you guys be
Isn't
doing?
that right,
This one
Trigger?
though, which is insane.
Oh my god.
Oh, look, I've stumbled into this house. I better search it.
Are you guys moving? Yeah, that's up.
Mm-hmm.
Alexandria, you leaving?
Mm-hmm.
Is anybody following her, or is she just going
I
on her own for
mean,
this
no,
moment?
I'm gonna stumble after her right now. No, do not split.
I water Susan.
She's gonna be
Oh,
very.
thank you.
She'll be very theatrical about leaving, like big steps, huge, exaggerated arm
Roll.
movements.
Valfine sounds like she's
rolling.
stopping you. Or like getting in
Wait,
front
wait,
of you.
wait.
Nah, nobody grabs the hood. Do not grab the hood.
She worked hard for that hood.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what she did, but she worked hard for it.
Why are you stopping the march of progress?
Because we all need to make the march of progress.
Good. Well, one of us has to move first. I volunteer. I march to the building.
Well, those buildings are dangerous. We know that.
Yes, that's why we should clear them.
Together.
Yes.
These buildings? You know a fight broke out here. I don't know if you know particularly if they're dangerous. The place
There
you
was
do
wild
know...
dogs all over there yesterday.
There were. Actually, you're right. You know, there was a pack of dogs there that could still be there.
Yeah.
And a very large pile of dead snakes.
So together then.
Yeah. Let's go. Come on. Like, I'm pinging it. Let's go.
So,
Let me help.
yeah, your party goes to make their way towards the pavilion where you rescued Orvex. Towards this building in particular.
Yeah,
That's the first one. Yep.
Nearest to the one nearest
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 buildings inside the pavilion. Actually 8 if you count this one outside. So there's actually quite a few to investigate here. But you don't quite reach the compound. Alexandra, you are first, I imagine, just with what's been happening. You are first walking out.
Hold up.
No.
I would like Alexandria, for you, and everyone in the party, in fact, to make a charisma saving throw.
Don't make me roll.
I was gonna check my trap.
Oh, you're not even near the building.
Oh, is this a charm one?
If you have any kind of immunities to charm or advantages, you may apply those.
Yes.
I got a natural 20 with my -1.
Yes.
Because I rolled a natural 1 on my first one there. And
Nice.
there is no way I should ever get charmed.
Am I
have
missing
a
anyone? Brolin, I'm missing you.
Oh,
Charisma saving
Wait.
throw.
oh, charisma saving throw. Gotcha. Man, tonight's just not my night for rolls.
Nice.
Oh. All right.
As you all step out onto the sort of open highway area, you immediately all hear a hissing in your mind, and it seems to just build up. And for everyone but Valthine, all you hear is the hissing. It vibrates in your head for a moment, and you look around, and it causes like a mild headache for just a moment. Valthine, you hear the hissing voices congeal together, and they say, "Kneel," and you are compelled to do so. Do nothing. So as you guys are moving, Valthine stops, and immediately just prostrates herself on the floor.
What are you doing?
In this,
Can I speak?
yes, you can.
I will do nothing.
Yeah, you hear her whisper that under her breath as
The hissing is pulling stuff out.
6 individuals walk out of the
I counter.
you couldn't surprise round, sorry. As these individuals walk.
Is counter spell reactionary though?
It is, but I believe as a surprise, you have the surprise effect, so you can't take anything. Like, you can't do bonus, you can't do reaction, you can't do squat. Because it doesn't work like other things. It is, you have a defect on you right now. We see, let me change the tone really quick here. We see several individuals make their way out. We see 2 with heads that of snakes. This is a little too. Let me just, this one. 2 individuals, their bodies quite muscular and large in size, blue scales over their shoulders, their bodies seeming that of humanoid, but their heads that of snakes. They hold scimitars in their hands. You see 2 of them. 2 more come out with heads of humans, and bodies as well. Their arms that of snakes, their eyes obviously serpentine. And we see 2 more sort of ride their way out. The bottom of their bodies seem to be that of complete snake forms. On the very top, drop that of humanoids. They carry weapons with them as well, and they look upon your party, and one just points his sword.
Their bodies for us in sea.
And we will pick up next time with the fight with the Yuan Ti.
Oh yeah? Your body for the kindling! Fireball!
They got the full round of attempting to suggest. One went off, and I will, please don't let me forget when we set up the battle map, to remind me to put that concentration on one of those creatures.
No, it breaks concentration really well.
Damage.
Hypnotic pattern.
That's true. You're gonna need it. And Orvax, I think the last thing is the Orvax just, oh no, not again! He's just terrified. Very, very cool, friends. That is where we are going to leave it off. I'm going to close out the stream, and then we can chat for a little bit, hang out for a little bit, have some bro time. Very, very cool. I would like to thank my amazing cast, guys. I super appreciate you coming tonight, helping me bring the world to life, search some buildings out, get some grind done, rolling some serious rolls over here. I'll move over to the regular screens. Yeah, let's turn off the crazy music. Crazy music that we'll pick up with that later. But again, yeah, I'd like to thank my amazing crew for bringing D&D to life with me every Monday that we can. Super fun. I'd also like to thank those who may joined us in chat. Apologies that we weren't on anything else. No one's going to see this on Mixer or on Facebook, which is fine. But Twitch buddies, hey, how's it going? And people on YouTube as well. But we'd like to thank those who maybe stopped by. We do not interact with the chat, but we appreciate your presence here with us, and anybody lurking in the background as well. Super appreciate it as well. Friends, appreciation for everyone. And if you're watching this later on a VOD, whether that be on Twitch or YouTube, since Restream didn't work, you guys are from the future. We are from the past, but we are all connected in slowly carving out these buildings one at a time. The grind. Very, very fun. The next time
we're gonna go up onto the ledge next time. Once I talk everyone in.
Oh, hopefully, it's supposed to come today. The next time that I am going to be streaming, you should see me on Friday. I'm not sure if I'll be on other stuff. I might just be on Twitch and YouTube. I gotta see what's wrong with my restream. I might have to restart it. But hopefully you will see me on all platforms, both Facebook and Mixer included, this Friday, 11 p.m. Eastern, where I'll probably be playing, I don't know, some game. Who knows? Whatever I feel like. No, that's not the next time you'll see me. It's Wednesday. It's not Wednesday. It's Monday. Wednesday we are playing more D&D, Stars of the Shattered Skies, where we go into a West March style game with our boy Tom and play all kinds of different characters and just have a good time. So you can join us at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, same time that this game normally runs on Wednesday. So feel free to stop by then. Very cool. I think that's everything. So no matter where you are in the world, friends, it does not matter where, morning, noon, or night. Make it an amazing day, guys. We just did. Take care. Bye.